All right, hey, what's up, y'all? So we just had this amazing talk on hiking 101, and before I put up all my stuff, I thought it might be useful to share my 10 essentials and what I usually carry with me on any kind of a hiking trip, or even when we go camping. Like, I carry some stuff in my backpack that just always stays with me. But before I get into that, I just want to make a plug for how important it is and beneficial it is to get outside. We have, in this modern world, sacrificed convenience and technology for our health. We never get outside. We don't get the sunlight that we need for sleep patterns, for our health. We're constantly bombarded with office lighting and lighting that's probably not bright enough to set our circadian rhythms in a positive direction. Most of us have pretty poor sleep habits. We're watching TV all the time, staying up late on our cell phones and iPads and computers and things like that. And a lot of these devices emit EMFs and radiation and things that are very damaging to our biology. And then a lot of us are addicted to social media. You have a problem if you're always checking your phone when you have a break and when you're at stoplights and when you're standing in lines and when you have nothing else to do. We went through a little questionnaire about, are you addicted to social media? Most of us could probably answer yes to most of the questions that we went through. And most of us are completely disconnected from the earth. You think about it, you live in an insulated home, you put on insulated shoes that have a rubber sole, you get into an insulated car or Jeep, like I drive, because you have insulated, rubber tires. And most of us rarely ever touch the earth, are rarely in touch with the earth. And then factor into that, we're exposed to pollution all day, every day. And, it's just, we're disconnected from the way that we're meant to be. And so this was our big argument for getting outdoors and doing some hiking, because hiking is a first easy step to disconnecting from the madness that we're immersed in on a daily basis. All right. So one of the things that we covered in this hike, of course, we talked all kinds of things about how to find a hike and how to track your hikes and how to connect with other people for hikes. But we did talk about equipment and gear. So I just want to show you a few things. I'll flip the camera around. All right, so first thing we talked about is getting a backpack. You gotta have a backpack. I think you should have a backpack all the time. I'm always wearing my backpack, but so we talked about sizes. Now, when you see backpacks in stores, you're usually gonna see like a liter rating, and we're just discussing the fact that like a 10 to 15 liter backpack is good for like a little day hike, short hike. But I think most people are going to benefit from something in the 20 to 35 liter range, because that's going to serve multi-purposes. It could be your bebopping around town backpack. It could be your hike backpack, your day hike backpack, your travel backpack. And so I have one right here. This is a Go Ruck, and I absolutely love it. You can see it's been worn out. I take it everywhere. It's got my EDC in it. It's got my 10 essentials. And that's about 26 liters. So I think that's a good place to start when you go to a place like REI or any place that has backpacks, looking at something in that 20 liter to 35 liter range and just trying them on to be really useful. And then we talked about our 10 essentials. So I'm going to go through each one of these. First thing is navigation. All right. Ideally, you're going to have a map and a compass for the area that you are hiking. But I think the best way to kind of navigate and make sure that you have the ability to get out of a crazy situation would be a cell phone with a GPS and an extra backup battery that you can recharge just in case you get off grid and you can't find yourself and need to get out of a situation. We also always recommend having a headlamp, all right, and some extra batteries, because again, if things get dark and sketchy, you're going to be very thankful that you had something like that. Always having some emergency shelter. So I always bring, this has been in my backpack for about 10 years, a poncho, an emergency blanket, and I just picked this up at REI. It's an emergency bivouac, which encompasses your entire body. And again, you never know, if you get stranded outside when it's cold, those things will come in handy big time. Having a first aid kit, I've carried this one around for about 10 years. And it's kind of worn out. I've dipped into it a little bit, so I got a new one here. Adventure Medical is pretty awesome. And then I like to throw in like an emergency whistle, some emergency ointments, and then I like to have some tweezers. All right, so having a med kit would be really awesome. And by the way, if someone goes down and they need assistance from a med kit and you're the one with the med kit, you look really cool. All right, so. Also sun gear. So having a long sleeve sun shirt, I always bring my hat with me, maybe some sunglasses, have the ability to start a fire. All right, so, something that's a no-brainer is carry a Bic on you at all times in your pack. But I also recommend carrying around a fire starter with flint, all right, so that you can strike and start up a fire no matter where you are. I usually carry around some laundry lint and a little bit of pine stuff here. That's always in my backpack just in case. So having the ability to start fire, making sure that you have a decent knife, whatever that is, and then hydration, super important. I usually carry around a canteen of water for myself, and if we're going on a hike, I carry around a canteen for my dog Conan. And I usually, when I'm outdoors, like to carry around this life straw here because I can sip water out of anything, a stream, a pond, and it kills 99.99% of bacteria and pathogens and stuff like that. Having a day's worth of food, I absolutely love beef jerky and the epic meat bars, but you can also do something a little bit more sugary like the Laura bars, and I love these collagen-based bars by Primal Kitchen. Those are awesome. And then, of course, if you need a rain jacket or something like that, that would be pretty awesome. Now, part of this class, we have our 10 essentials checklist here, right? And then on the back, we have other considerations that you may want to consider for a day hike. And we obviously, anyone that attends our talks, they get this information. We do follow-up emails with all kinds of links and things that we talked about. Today we talked about applications for finding hikes, applications for tracking your hikes. We had 3 different ones that we're experimenting with. We talked about how to connect with others. We talked about footwear. We talked about all kinds of cool stuff. So when you come to our talks, they're pretty comprehensive. And so anyway, that's our 10 essentials. And the 10 essentials are something that we recommend that you have with you most situations. If I'm doing a hike here around town and I know the route and I have no potential for getting off track and getting lost, I may not need all this stuff, but I like to have this stuff with me just in case because you just never know, all right? Anyway, I hope that's useful, seeing that layout and going through that info. If you have any questions, let me know. I love this stuff. This is just one of our foundations for health. Getting outdoors, getting outside, and hiking is one way to disconnect from the madness. So make sure that you take opportunities to do stuff like this, all right? Later.